I'm Mike Garning, and want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. We have six-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson here today to talk about the 2016 edition of the Jimmie Johnson Foundation Wellness Challenge. This is the third year for the Wellness Challenge, and this year it includes 3 events: the Jimmie Johnson Foundation 5K on May 22nd in Huntersville, North Carolina, the Cane Creek Sprint Triathlon on July 26th in Waxhaw, North Carolina. One key point to that one, that is a Tuesday night, so it's designed to make it easier for those of us here in the NASCAR community to participate. And then the Lake Davidson Sprint Triathlon, September 11th in Davidson, North Carolina. Now, Jimmie is joined on stage by a couple of familiar faces, Steve Post, Jamie Vansel. Steve, talk about what's going on up here today.
Well, it's kind of interesting, and over the course of time, I think we all know that Jimmie's interest and passion about wellness. And my story with Jimmie started with the last year, 2014, actually, a year and a half ago. We were at the Myers Brothers Luncheon out at Las Vegas, and just happened to be seated at the table with Jimmie. I think Jeff Gluck was at our table, and Jimmie was sharing with Jeff what they were doing, and they were talking about all this running and everything. And I'm sitting there like the way overweight MRN guy. And so I said to Jimmie, I said, what are some things that I can start with? I'm not going to be Jimmie Johnson, at this stage. And he said, just start monitoring and start paying attention to it. And I got back from Vegas and I bought a Fitbit and just started monitoring it. And it was really interesting to see how the sleep went. Really interesting to see how the steps went and how the walking went. And over the course of last year, I've got to be real honest, I didn't do a whole lot with it other than monitored it. And kind of the way I describe this is Jimmie kind of dealt with a philosophical, this is the strategy, this is the theory, this is what you need to do. When I saw Jimmie's work with Tony Gibson, and Tony is the crew chief for Kurt Busch, I think that to me became the practical application of it. Tony and I are similar in age, we're similar in build, we actually live in the same neighborhood and have the same favorite pizza joint and same favorite places to eat. So I really related to what was going on with Tony and what Jimmie and Tony were working on there with the Fit at 50 program. And so consequently, as the season went on, I was watching this with Tony, I said, I want that. I want a little bit of that. I want to get to that stage where when you talk to Tony and how great he felt and how things didn't hurt like they used to, and he could get out of bed without his knees killing him. And then, and face it, I love to eat. Talk to Tony about different things he was trying with his diet, and that not only was he surviving it, that he was enjoying some of this. It became real practical to me that a middle-aged guy like Tony or like myself could do this. So I went to work this off season, and I'm very proud to say that I lost 28 pounds during this off season and went real aggressive with some dieting things and some walking, and really kind of came to this stage and wasn't sure what it was going to be during the course of the year. And I'm going to turn it over to Jimmie because I think Jimmie kind of provided me provides us with the next step to this journey for me as a guy that's working on it. So Jimmie, share a little bit about what you have going on and how we'll move forward on this.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, Steve and Jamie, also for being up here. I want Jamie to maybe share his story a little bit here as well. But we're in here a lot. We're obviously making everybody aware of what the foundation is doing this year with our Wellness Challenge. But today, I'm not here asking to have people write about it. I'm here to challenge you. I want everybody in this room to know if you want to get fit, you want to focus on wellness, that I'm a resource. I'm here. We have an app that can walk you through the different steps of it. And at the end of the day, I just going through the off season and then starting this season and having media day, and to see how many people were talking about Gibson's story and the smile they had on their faces to see Tony healthy. I just want to provide that for everybody and everybody in this room. So again, today's not about writing an article. It's more about myself sitting up here with 2 friends that I've been able to help influence as well and let them kind of share their stories too. So one thing I've found, and I think what Steve was getting at, is it's tough to always watch what you're eating and to get your shoes on and get out the door and walk if you don't have some motivation. And my challenge to all of you is we have the Jimmie Johnson 5K coming up May 22nd. And that's 3 months out. It's plenty of time to get geared up to go run 3.1 miles. And we'd love to have you. So this is a big invite and a challenge to all of you to focus on your wellness and let us help. And after that, if you do want to pursue it further, there's those 2 sprint triathlons lingering out there, and you can do them yourself as an individual or also as a relay team. And it'd be cool to see. I've seen Bob and Jeff, Nate, a bunch of faces in here at our different events participating, and it'd be cool to see some relay teams or some individuals try to tackle a sprint triathlon. So that's really the meat of it. Again, we have the app, and you can find that on the App Store, the Jimmie Johnson Foundation app. It's a free training app to get you ready for the 5K. And then our Wellness Challenge website to sign up is jjfwellnesschallenge.org. So that's really the meat of it. I don't have much other than trying to challenge you all, and hope to see you see you guys all feeling better, and hopefully at the 5K. And I know Jamie's got some bit of a story to share with you and the adventure he's been on as well.
Thanks, Jimmy. As most of you know, and you've seen me out on the road before, I was pretty heavy. And, I found out I was sick. I had diabetes, type 2. And I was looking at ideas and ways of, slimming down and working out. So I, cut my diet back and started exercising. But, doing the same thing every day, exercising gets kind of boring. So I pulled Jimmy aside one day, and I was like, hey, I know you're really busy, but what do you do? Can you give me any suggestions, any ideas of things that can help me out to change some things up so I'm not so bored all the time? I want to get out, work out, but sometimes you get in that stale stage and you get kind of bored. So I talked to him, and he gave me a few suggestions on, some swimming ideas, maybe some cycling, different things I can do while I run. And, it changes things up and it makes it more exciting. And I'm down 85 pounds from where I started at. So, it works. You just got to keep at it, and it's hard. I know it's hard being in here and sitting around and working all the time. So sometimes you just kind of have to find that time. You go back to the hotel and you're tired. 30 minutes is all it takes some days. You don't have to go in and work out for 2 hours. If you go in and do 30 minutes of workout, and sometimes that's all I need to make myself feel a little better about not getting a whole lot of exercise, but at least getting a little bit of something. And I always say that fat waits for nobody, because sometimes it doesn't. So that's just how it is. And, I thank Jimmy for giving me all the suggestions, and anybody can do it. If I can do it, you guys can do it. It's pretty easy.
Cool. One other little thing to add, and we can talk to Amy offline. There's another very cool app called Strava, which I'm on and participate on. You can post your activities, and it's a great way to keep everybody honest and also encourage. So if you don't have the app, maybe consider downloading it. And then with Amy, I have it private, obviously, because there's a mapping aspect to it, and I don't want every fan showing up at my house for autographs. So if we can find out who's interested, and if you promise not to show up at my house for an autograph, I'll open it up and we can sit there and have the banter, encourage each other, and that's the biggest thing. Helping hold each other accountable, and just getting your shoes on and getting out the door is half the battle. So that's about it. Didn't mean to be up here too long and labor through it all, but just wanted to throw that out to everybody.
I actually signed up for the app today, as a matter of fact, just looking at it, and it projects that Jimmy could run a 5K in 12 minutes and something is what it projected.
I like that.
Yeah, I think mine was 2.5 days. So, but we're, I think that's the thing, and I know it's just take a step, grab Amy or grab somebody here today, and they can get us started down this path, and I'll look forward. It's called a 5K run. It might be a walk for me. I don't know. We'll see where we're at, and if it's a 5K walk, I'm going to walk all 5K of it, and I hope that there's a lot of us in this room that collectively travel this road. We'll maybe do it all together and get a little bit better off for all of us individually.
Cool.
And you can take that challenge immediately. Amy is right over there. But first off, do we have any questions? And if we can, keep it on topic, simply because these are some pretty impressive stories. Any questions for anyone out there in the audience? Yeah, go ahead, Stan.
Jimmy, what do you say to individuals? Jimmy, what do you say to individuals who kind of, like him, just said they have to walk, or they can't even walk that kind of distance because of some physical issue that they have? What do you say to them to help them continue to lose weight?
Yeah, I mean, I clearly don't want to put anybody into a situation that's going to harm them or injure them more if there's something that's pre-existing. But I've found, and I've watched others that have had knee problems, and as they've started to walk, or if it was swimming, whatever the exercise might be, strengthen the areas, and those issues really dissipate and go away. I've had a few aches and stuff over the years that, especially being in these race cars, your lower back takes a beating. We've seen plenty of drivers with that. that story. And since I started swimming 3 or 4 years ago, my back issues are completely gone. So, strengthening the body, really working that soft tissue, balancing the body out. It's not that it has healing properties, but it just gets the body working right. So, certainly talking to a physician or talking to I'm just a guy trying to encourage people, but talking to a real professional or coach that could help build a workout routine to make you feel better and strengthen those areas is key.
Okay, we'll go here to Jerry, and then George, and then Nate in the back.
Right up front. Jerry Jordan, Performance Racing Network and Kicking the Tires. I downloaded the app. I've actually been working on trying to lose some weight for a while. And but how does it work? Can you explain the app? And so you have companies here and things like that. What's the involvement with the app, and how do you interact with people through this?
On the JJF or the Strava? JJF. It's been a little while since I've been on it. We need to. I'll come and flip through it with you here in a second. We'll get it started up and going. And once you get into the app and you sign up for the 5K, my triathlon coach that I've been using, Jimmie Johnson, also who worked with Tony Gibson, we've taped some stuff which you might find humorous because he's not very comfortable in front of the camera. But there's a whole tutorial to walk you through each step and give you the workout plan to get you to the 5K. Yep.
All right, George.
Yeah, Jimmy, back here. George Diaz with the Orlando Sentinel. You talked about fitness, and this kind of dovetails into a little bit of what happened with Tony recently. Where do you kind of draw the line between staying fit and doing things and then crossing a threshold into something, an extracurricular athletic activity that might cause some harm?
Yeah, you can get hurt doing anything. I just know how much better I feel now that I've focused on my fitness. And when I first started in the Cup Series, many of you in here remember me then, and had a few extra chins and spent my free time doing other things. But for how sharp I feel, how good I feel about myself, all the things that come with eating better, having physical activity in your life, being outside and challenging yourself and possibly putting yourself in harm's way. That's how I feel alive, And there's certainly a balance that any professional has to take into consideration when you're doing those things. And I'm sure if one of you are on a bike and you fall and break a wrist and you can't work the keyboard or something that but you've got to live. So there's certainly a crossover point. And I'm not suggesting we all need to go base jumping and do a bunch of wild stuff, but addressing the fitness, wellness, it's good for mind, body, and soul. And I've grown so much through this experience, and I feel very honored to have encouraged others to pursue that. And I guess Tony and with Steve and Jamie and hearing their stories, I didn't realize that I was capable of these things, and it really wasn't my goal. But now seeing that, being there to support someone on this journey, and the other piece to it is that individual has to want it, and when that happens, great things happen. And here's two great stories in that.
Nate, take us across the finish line.
Nate, Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. You kind of started on there, third, Jimmy, but now that you've seemingly undertaken the major responsibility of getting the entire NASCAR industry in shape, is this something like you envision doing maybe beyond NASCAR? And why do you think that you're good at it? Why do you think you are? It seems like a good motivator for the two guys on stage, or for Tony Gibson. It seems like you've got maybe a knack for it.
I think I've had some big aha moments recently in how to make it work in my life, and just excited to share those things. And with our schedules all being relatively similar, not the best options to eat day in and day out, the long hours, there's just a lot of things that I feel we have in common, and I've seen that they've been able to help others in our industry. And then truthfully, Saturday afternoons when the Cup Garage closes, the community that I've been able to see, and it doesn't matter what team shirt they might walk out of the garage in, but everybody puts on their cycling gear and goes for a ride. The friendships I've built, the way I've been able to see a lot of the country that I otherwise wouldn't have seen. I've been sitting in my motorhome just eating, watching a Xfinity race or something. It's just been amazing to experience that community inside of our garage, which I didn't really know was there. And I still think we can grow it. And there's there's 2 or 3 different groups that leave the garage. Some guys are really strong, other folks that are just figuring it out. And it's so cool to see that now and to see how many bicycles are lined up in the garage. And I don't know, I guess the community aspect and then living the same schedule is where the motivation is really coming from.
You want to keep doing it maybe after the NASCAR thing is over? Is it something that one of you later on in life is driving?
I haven't thought about it that far. The Wellness Challenge means a lot to me, and that's why we started it in, I guess, 2 years ago. We've got great partners that also believe in wellness in their corporations with Blue Bunny Ice Cream and Lowe's and all these folks. So I know it's a big concern for everyone, but I haven't thought of it as something to do down the road. It's after going on my 15th season being here, I've just been so happy to see other parts of the country and in this other community that I didn't know existed in our garage area.
All right. Again, to take the challenge, go to jjfwellnesschallenge.org. And if you want to sign up right now, Amy will get you squared away. Thank you very much for your time, David. We
Buddy.
really appreciate it.